Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe with tonight's Sports Ticker, which is brought to you by GoCurrency.com. Husker volleyball headed to Louisville, Kentucky for the regional round of the NCAA tournament. The Huskers will face Oregon Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Pregame here on the network begins at 9:30. Today, 5 Huskers were named to the AVCA All-North Region team. Maddie Kubik, Lexi Rodriguez, Caitlin Horde, Whitney Lonstein, and Becca Alec. That's the most Huskers picked for the region team since 2016. College basketball tonight in the Big Ten. Illinois facing Texas at the Jimmy V Classic. That game just about to get underway. Iowa and Duke will play later in a league matchup. The undefeated Maryland Terrapins are in Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. That game tips at 8 o'clock. The Husker men are headed to Bloomington, Indiana. They will tangle with the nationally ranked Hoosiers tomorrow night with tip-offs at 7:30. Former Husker Zach Wiegert being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame tonight in Las Vegas. Wiegert is part of the 21-man 2022 class. Wiegert won the Outland Trophy at Nebraska back in 1994. From the world of wrestling, Husker Mikey Labriola was named the NCAA Wrestler of the Week. The 4-time All-American won 5 matches over the weekend to win his weight class at the Cliff Keen meet for the second straight year in Las Vegas. At the World Cup today, Morocco stunned Spain, winning 3-0 on penalty kicks, and Portugal routed Switzerland 6-1. Need to buy or sell heavy equipment, farm machinery, trucks, or trailers? GoCurrency is the industry-leading online auction platform for big machines. Get worldwide exposure and earn top dollar for your equipment. Visit GoCurrency.com today. Sports Highlight coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here's Griesel with the ball. Starts down the right side. Good quick move. Puts it up and in off the window. Super finish by Sam Griesel. He's got 4.
Back to throw is McCarthy. Gets hit by Garrett Nelson and brought down. There's a Big Mac sack.
Line drive serve. Nicklin twinkles the twine. Diving pass. Quick attack. Amaya Jones blocked. Kaylin Hard, the best in the business. Too late.
Here come the Huskers quickly up the floor, leading 4-2. Shelley down the right lane line, angles it in, it counts, and a foul. She went about 80 feet that time for an N1.
And now Vandermill on a steal. Vandermill right past one defender. All the way to the rack, puts it up and in. It's a 2-point goal on a steal, and a transition 2 by Vandermill.
He is fast.
Jack back right side. Londa blocked. Covered like butter popcorn on that one. Keelan Hart. Allie Badenhorst swings her fist in the air. It's 27-26 Huskers.
Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year.
Down low, this is Markowski out to Widener, left wing 3. You betcha! Off the assist from Alexis Markowski.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, a Sports Highlight Tuesday night. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with us. Jessica and I have the first hour, and then we're going to hand it off to Matt Coatney and Amy Williams for hour number 2. What a win for Amy Williams' squad over the weekend. Go and beat Maryland. Took them down.
Absolutely. Huge win. And on the road at that, I mean, we've talked a lot about that, and I've said that a few times since the win on Sunday. This team is really good at PBA, and they only lost 1 game there a year ago. That this is a team that needed to figure out how to win some games on the road and win some big ones on the road. Those are absolutely massive for the net rankings, for your resume. When the NCAA selection committee starts talking about, you know, where to seed teams, they look at your big wins and your big wins on the road. And so this is a really important thing that this team really wanted to emphasize this year. So for them to get one of those is absolutely huge. And I think will pay dividends moving forward when they go on the road in the future.
And they needed it because the game before was not good. I mean, I'm not sure anybody's ever had a road trip of that big of a swing and scores from what happened Thursday night at Virginia Tech. So they needed to collect themselves, gather, and go, and they responded. And that's a good sign that there's some leadership on that team to get that group together and go, all right, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah, and I think, too, we all just assume, well, it's a lot of the same players that were here a year ago, but they don't have Sam Hybe, and that's a big, kink in the armor that they're having to figure out how to play without her and how to win without her. How many times has, she might have been having a quiet game last year and she just took over in the biggest moments, right? And so I think, again, having some of these other players that have had to fill that role, and Jazz Shelley now has done it a couple of different times. Allison Weiner was huge the other day, especially in the second half. So, having some of these other players have to step up and fill that role. And they're just we're working on, and Matt Coatney came on Friday before the game and talked about they're trying to figure some things out, and they haven't put it all together yet. And so they were able to put a lot more things together on Sunday, which resulted in that win.
We'll have Amy Williams in studio next hour for that women's show. We're going to hear from Isabelle Bourne coming up in just a little bit about all that as well. It's been a busy week for Matt Rhule. You think it's been 8 days since he was introduced as Nebraska's head coach. I know you talked about it on Thursday, the announcement of 6 members of his staff. There's no new additional announcements. I kind of have the feeling, Jessica, there are a couple more guys that have been hired. We just haven't officially been introduced to them yet.
Yeah, because when they start changing their profile pics, right? On Twitter, and how they have changed their attire and have the in on, and that's for recruiting, right? And so it's just kind of a process to get everything official university-wise. But yes, I'm with you. I think there's been a couple more hires. It just hasn't gone through all the university processes yet. But boy, they have been busy. It's crazy. It's only been 8 days. It seems like he's been here like 2 months.
Yeah, and he may think that too, because he's been going. We've seen a lot of social media pictures of him in various homes, particularly around the state of Nebraska. He's visited a lot of the young men who are committed to the Nebraska program, or that he is trying to get to commit to the Nebraska program. The other coaches have certainly been busy as well. You were reading me a pretty interesting little thing about E.J. Barthel, who's the running backs coach, who this past year was on UConn staff, coached by Jim Moore, the head coach there. And Jim Moore raved about EJ last week, said, man, this is this is a future star in our coaching industry, is EJ Barthel. And you saw somebody talked about what a great individual he is. He's one of the guys I can't wait to meet.
Yeah, absolutely. And just look at what UConn was able to do. I mean, they went from 1 win a year ago to 6 wins. And I found it interesting too. And I didn't get to dive into all of this on Thursday, but I think there was like 4 running backs that all had pretty significant contributions. And so I think he's really great at developing and building depth in that room. But yeah, someone had put a story out, quote tweeted one of his posts and just said that I slept on EJ's couch for 2 months when I was homeless after college, and he didn't charge me $1. Let me train for free at his facility. If you are a high school kid or a parent, he will take care of you. I'm forever in debt for what he did for me. If you want empathy, he is it. So yeah, that was a great story right there. I also went back and I watched a video that UConn put together on him, and he was talking about the running backs room and all of that. And he said, and Jeremiah and I talked about this on our podcast today, but he said, you have to be elite in protection. We have to be elite in the receiving game. We have to be vital participants on special teams, all phases of the game. The running back is the ultimate team player. And then he went on to say, I can't teach a back how to run the ball. I can teach a back where to run the ball.
And there are a couple of running backs from Connecticut that have entered the portal.
Oh.
So keep your eye on that moving forward. But I'm excited about all these guys. We're hoping to get them on in the next couple of weeks. They're just so busy. They are all hopping around. They will be coming back to town this weekend because this will be a big visit weekend. A lot of young men are coming on campus for their official visit. Some for the second time. You pointed this out a week or so ago, and this is a good move by the NCAA, that if players have committed to the previous staff and have already taken their official visit, they're going to be allowed on a second official visit with the new staff. That's a wonderful idea.
It really is, because again, this is where you're committing, which with the transfer portal, maybe it's not where you're committing to play your entire college career, but it's a big decision and for a lot of these players. And a lot of people want to argue with me on this, but yes, you do commit to the institution, but nowadays a lot of these kids are committing to play for their coaches, their position coaches. It's the relationships that they build with these coaches. And so if that changes, and that man that you have invested in, that has invested in you, and you have built a lot of that relationship with, if he leaves, then yeah, you should get a chance to come back and see if this is still a good fit for you with the new coaching staff. So yeah, the recruiting staff has been crazy busy planning. They had a junior day last week, and then they'll have a couple of big weekends these next coming couple of weekends, and then signing day. It has been a wild couple of weeks, and it's just going to continue to stay busy for this staff.
There was a commitment today to Coach Rural. We can't mention that because we're a part of the university staff right now, but he did pick up a commitment earlier today. So the momentum is going and picking up, and as you mentioned, a lot of these young men are going to be on campus this weekend. Good weekend to bring them here because you've got a basketball game with Purdue. The Huskers are going to play Purdue on the men's side. The women also have a non-conference basketball game. But something to take them to get them to say, here's what Husker Nation's like on a game day. It's a good little weekend to have a home basketball game, so they'll be able to do that this week as well. But we're keeping our eye on it, and as soon as some official announcements of some more members of the staff are out, we'll certainly pass that along to you as we move through.
Which, by the way, how great, I mean, the atmosphere is always good in PBA, but coming off the win over Creighton and the first time this team is going to be home after that win, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere on Saturday. And yeah, that's part of when they bring kids on is getting a sense. If you haven't been to a football game, the next best thing is going to a basketball game and PBA and getting a sense of what this fan base is like.
So the portal, mentioned that. It officially opened yesterday. There's been a handful of Huskers that have jumped in the portal. You hate to see attrition, but you know attrition's going to happen when you change staffs. It's going to happen. There's a couple names that hurt more than others. I think Ernest Hausman would be the name that really, I think, pained us when we heard that late last week. It doesn't say that Ernest is gone for sure. We've had guys who've come back after putting their name in the portal one time. And I would think Coach Rural knows Ernest is a really high-caliber guy. First of all, he's the kind of person you want on your team because he's just such a wonderful young guy and a heck of a football player. But some of the other names, you're kind of going, okay, well, that probably didn't work out here in Nebraska. Maybe they need to change the scenery as well. But I hope people aren't panicking by when they hear some of these names that pop up from the Nebraska side that are entering the portal.
To me, I think probably a number of these guys that are in the portal, we're going to be in the portal no matter what. Just looking for opportunities to go play elsewhere that maybe they weren't going to see the field here. But yeah, with the Ernest Hausman going in the portal, there's rules of coaches. They can't tamper, right? So you can't talk to players unless you're in the portal. And so some of these guys might just be wanting to explore their opportunities with the new staff coming in and talk to a couple different places. Also, maybe drive up an NIL price, a little free agency talk a little bit. But yeah, just maybe exploring their options legally, with the NCAA rules, and can always absolutely come back. Just because you enter the portal doesn't mean you're for sure gone. You can go explore and talk to some people and then come back if that's the right decision for you.
And to be fair, one of the 6 coaches that were announced last week, the linebackers coach is not one of them. So we're not sure where Coach Rural is headed for that. And that adds some uncertainty to a young man's mind and decision going, well, I still don't know who I'm going to be playing for, who is my position coach. So I think that factors into it. And once that announcement comes out, whoever that is, maybe that calms the waters for a young man and they get to sit down face-to-face and go, oh, I can play for that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, I've said this, and you and I talked about this, I think a lot of the current players were really impressed with Coach Rural. And, I think some of these guys like Anthony Grant, Marcus Washington, Casey Thompson, Ty Robinson, some of those players I think probably are going to give this staff a chance to chat with these guys and who's going to be their position coach and really weigh their options and do their research and make sure that it's a good fit for them. But from their initial meeting with Coach Rural, I know that a lot of players were really blown away, really impressed by him. And how about his message about, I wanted to come coach you? How great is the message of that? He chose to come here and coach you. So I think, I think there's a lot of players that are already on board. They're just waiting to make their announcement to see and make sure once these other position coaches get hired and make sure that it's a fit. But I think there's a lot of guys that are already bought into Coach Roll.
Totally agree. Interesting week on campus. It's dead week officially. We're not supposed to be getting new material to go over in their classes. Final start next week. We're really wrapping up the semester, and then it's going to be a ghost town around here for a few weeks with everybody leaving campus. All right, you and I have not even talked about this. The college football playoff is now set, the 14 field. Did they get it right?
I think they did. I think they absolutely did. And I said this before the weekend that I thought if TCU and Kansas State, if it was close, if TCU just didn't get blown out, that TCU had done enough, win or lose. And, Kansas State was ranked 10 going into it. To me, you shouldn't be punished for playing on championship Saturday, for making it to the conference game, and especially having to play a team, again, a good team at that's ranked in the top 10. Now, USC wasn't very close at the end.
They got rolled.
So,
and their second loss.
Yes, to that team.
Same team.
So, I think they absolutely got it right. I think USC should have been out. I did not want to see Alabama in there. They had their chances, and I know Nick Saban went on and was pleading his case, and I thought it looked a little desperate. But, and he made the point of, well, would we be favored over a lot of these teams? Yeah, but that doesn't mean just because you're favored doesn't mean you earned a spot in the college football playoff. So I think Ohio State had definitely played by far. To me, I think Michigan, other than Georgia, has been by far and away the most dominant team in college football, has made their case. And so, I think Ohio State was a team that was the one that got to get in there because of the teams that are ahead of them lost. Yeah,
and I think if you measure up Ohio State against Alabama, that looks like that was the pick between those two. The Buckeyes were really dominant. Now, they got beat pretty good by Michigan in the final game of the year. I get that. But they didn't have another game that was within 10 points all year. They mashed everybody. That includes Notre Dame and Penn State that they beat, and then everybody else that they played in the Big Ten Conference. So to me, they were a dominant-looking team all season until Michigan got them at the end, where Alabama had 2 losses and 3 or 4 other games that were razor thin that they kind of pulled out wins, including a victory over Texas, where they barely won.
Yeah, and I think Ohio State, too, and they had talked about this on the selection show, that the Michigan game, it ended up being bigger than it was, but it was pretty close.
It was.
Through the third or fourth quarter, and so I don't know. That might be that would be interesting to see if those teams rematched again, because Ohio State has the talent. I mean, you want to talk about the eye test. Ohio State has it. So, I think this is one of the more interested matchups, a foursome that I've been interested in. It's intriguing because TCU's in it. What's TCU going to look like on this stage? Michigan, Ohio State, and then is Georgia that much better than everybody? We're going to see.
They've had some close calls as well.
Yeah.
Some games coming down the stretch where people really push them as well. And I think TCU's got the kind of offense that can do some damage against that great Georgia defense. All right, folks, those are some of the topics we're dealing with tonight. Again, we're going to hear from Izzy Bourne coming up a little bit later on in the hour. Phone lines, text lines, wide open for you, 402-413-2400. That's our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. We're back with more of the show. Some of your calls and texts coming up next.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio Capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software solutions created by Rake School students.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We are your shelter.
You've got options when you shop pre-owned with Woodhouse. Over 1,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs inspected and road ready, with a team ready to tackle all your needs and wants to get you the perfect vehicle. Plus, with financing options and extended warranty coverage options, Woodhouse makes purchasing your next vehicle an easy one-stop shop in dealership or online, bringing you more every time since 1975. Shop Woodhouse.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every single day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed the globe. When you grow non-GMO white corn or non-GMO yellow corn, you can earn up to $250 more per acre. Do the math. Growing CVA value-added grains pays huge dividends. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how you can get up to a $5,000 signing bonus with a value-added grain contract at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Puts up another three. This one's on the way. Got it! Got it! Got it! Breidenbach with a big three.
Tomorrow, women's basketball takes the airways as they face Wisconsin. 6:45 pregame with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greach, followed by an abbreviated Sports Nightly. Husker Hoops play Indiana with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on the men's side with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. And the kind folks at Acres allowed us to come out and use their conference room today. We had a little network retreat where we're talking about, starting to sell spots and features and all that type of thing for next year already. And what a beautiful little location they have up north of town.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
it's kind of close to where I live, but I haven't gone much further past Toast, but that's a cool little area.
Nice little area. It's fun to be up there. So thanks to the folks at Acres for letting us come and use their big conference room today for a little retreat for our Huskers Radio Network staff, our sales staff, and our on-air staff. That was a lot of fun. We mentioned in the opening segment we'll have Amy Williams at the top of the hour. Great win for them over Maryland on Sunday. I know you talked to Coach Hoiberg last night. Wow, and I know a lot of Husker fans grinning ear to ear because they finally beat the Creighton Blue Jays on their home court.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, too, because we were in the middle of course, talking about his team and everything. And he's like, I do want to take a moment to congratulate Amy Williams and her program for a great win on Sunday, too. How much fun was Sunday? I mean, it was just all day. So much fun. It was just a blast to watch the women's team and then the men's team. But, yeah, that was my first time to go to Creighton, and the Huskers kept them pretty quiet in that building. The whole game almost. They tried to get a little loud at one point in the second half, and Huskers just kept shutting them down.
Derek Walker makes a big difference.
He really does.
Creighton did not have an answer for him. I couldn't believe they didn't double. They didn't run a double at him. And I know Kalkbrenner is a really good defensive center, but Derek had his way with him, and why Creighton didn't adjust, and I'm glad they didn't, but seemed like an error in judgment to me. But I love what Derek's doing. He's playing under control, and that offense is running. He's even bringing the ball up the court a lot.
Yeah, he's just he's so experienced, and Coach Hoiberg has talked a lot about that and this team. And how many times when we start talking the postseason and teams that go on to win a national title, a lot of times they're old, right? And you can have all the talent in the world, but it just pays so many dividends to have an experienced basketball team. And this team is certainly experienced. And I think Derek Walker has played some basketball. He's figured some things out. I like how he's being more aggressive. There were times last year, so many times it took him a while to look for a shot and to go to the basket and to make things happen. But I think he's doing that from the get-go, and it opens everything up for this team. And then that's when you start getting those mismatches that you can start taking advantage of when Sam Griesel, Sammy my boy, as Kent likes to call him on the broadcast, when Sam Griesel can take over games, and because he's got a mismatch because teams, they're not helping off of him, and when the shooters, when it starts to open up on the outside for Casey and CJ. So yeah, I think it's so important for Derek to keep doing what he's doing, and he absolutely makes a massive difference for this team.
I had several people tell me that, well, Nebraska can't play any better than that. And you were there. You might have a different opinion, but I'm like, really? CJ made like one shot. Casey was really no threat offensively. There were other guys that didn't, and Emmanuel did not play his best game, and I think there's still more in that team than what we saw Sunday.
Now, I will say this. Emmanuel did an incredible job on the defensive end, and a lot of times when you are tasked with that responsibility, it's hard to get things going on the offensive end when you are so locked in defensively. But yeah, he didn't score, but I think he played a great defensive game. I would say Wilhelm Breidenbach didn't. He hit one big three that was a big moment, but he hasn't really got going yet either, and I think he could be a really big piece as well. But yeah, CJ was 0 for 6 from three-point. Yeah. He's gonna knock down some threes, and so yeah, I don't think that was the best team. I think that was the most complete game they've played so far.
Agreed.
But I don't think that was their ceiling by any means.
Well, and you just look at it, and you talked about it with Coach last night. They've won 3 straight games by double digits, 2 over ACC schools, and then Creighton, which is a Power 6 team out of the Big East. Those are impressive wins, and those are resume builders for them if they want to be playing deep into March.
Yeah, and I think too, and we had Adam Howard on a couple weeks ago, and he said that they hadn't even looked at the game film on Creighton yet because they were so focused on Boston College.
Right.
And I think this team, that's what's so good about this team, is they are focusing one game at a time, and you have to. When you have this kind of stretch, when you've got Creighton and then at Indiana and then Purdue, it is one game at a time and focusing on the task at hand. And so, yeah, they're stacking together some games. You had 2 good games going into Creighton, and Coach Hoiberg talked about how they had some not good stretches in that game against Boston College, yet was still able to come out with a big win. And so you keep stacking games, you keep putting those games together and consistently consistent games, and that's how you keep you string together some wins. Is you take it one game at a time, and you get better each time out, and just keep trying to be consistent each time you take the floor.
And I don't want to leave out Juwan Gary. I'm not sure Juwan missed a shot Sunday. He ended up with 12. He's either 5 of 6 or 6 for 6. And the way he attacks rebounds, it is impressive to watch it. If you want to take a young player to a game and say, watch how hard you have to play this game well, just watch Juwan Gary.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating, too. We didn't get a chance to talk about it on the air, but Coach Hoiberg and I, in one of the commercial breaks, I asked him about Juwan Gary. Where does he rank among the better rebounders that you coach? And he said offensively, he's right near the top, offensive rebounder. But he said at Alabama, his defensively, he wasn't as good. So that's an area that he's improved on the defensive end, rebounding defensively, because he didn't have a single offensive rebound against Creighton. They were all on the defensive end. And so, yeah, he's really good. Denham Dawson is a great rebounder, too. That's a big part of why this team is winning and able to compete. Yes, it's the emphasis on the defensive end, but they're crashing the boards, and they are not getting out-rebounded in these wins. They've out-rebounded every team that they've beat in this 3-game stretch.
Think how different that is from a year ago.
Yeah.
Where Nebraska got whipped.
Yeah.
Every night on the backboards. Carl on our text line said Sunday's Husker basketball coverage on the radio network was outstanding. Especially enjoyed Matt Coatney's emotional postgame work. You betcha. Thanks, Carla. And Coat will be here at the top of the hour to steer us through the Amy Williams radio show. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. Again, that's on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. And tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back to hear from Izzy Bourne. We'll hear that next.
It's the Ford Shine Bright sales event, and Ford is helping you be a light for others this holiday season. Right now, get special offers on select Ford trucks and SUVs. Come in and choose a vehicle in stock, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer today and find the Ford vehicle that helps you shine bright all season long. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Puts up another three. This one's on the way. Got it! Got it! Got it! Breidenbach with a big three.
Tomorrow, women's basketball takes the airways as they face Wisconsin. 6:45 pregame with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greach, followed by an abbreviated Sports Nightly. Husker Hoops play Indiana with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on the men's side with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense.
more powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
I'm the warmest too. I'm so glad we called SOS before the coldest got here.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota's Crawford. If your house is the coldest, call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Don't be like me in the winter. Take it from Dakota.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Tuesday night. We'll have our women's basketball show with Amy Williams at the top of the hour. Huskers coming off their first ever win over the Maryland Terrapins on Sunday, and they get ready to host Wisconsin tomorrow night at PBA. And earlier this week, you had a chance to catch up with Izzy Bourne.
Yeah, yesterday went and chatted with them. Boy, they were on the road a long time. But I think they had a really good time. It was a good bonding experience. They went to Washington, D.C. on one of those days. So, yeah, I had a chance to catch up with Izzy yesterday. How fun was yesterday?
It was incredible. We all had a very, very fun day. I think all of Husker Nation did with those wins.
What went into that performance yesterday? I mean, how ready were you guys to do what no women's basketball team here at Nebraska has ever done?
Well, Coach told us before the game yesterday that was the start of a new season for us. First game of Big Ten play, so we wanted to come out and make a statement and show Big Ten who the Huskers are, and I think we did that, and especially to go and do it in an away game, it was incredible for us.
Obviously, you guys had a lot of different people contribute. It was a complete team effort, but it was you out of the gate. So what mindset did you come in with for this game?
Yeah, I've wanted to beat Maryland for a while now. It's been 4 years, so I wanted to go out there and just give it my all. You know, we had nothing to lose, to go out there and just try hard, and that's what I tried to bring from the start.
What is it about that program that they're so tough to beat, especially they're at home for them?
They just have a different kind of style of play, playing mostly guards, so it's hard to guard them mostly, and they're aggressive on defense. So to go out and play them with such a different kind of style, it's always pretty difficult to adjust, but I think we really did a good job of that.
You know, I've talked about this, and a lot of your teammates have talked about this leading up to this year. You guys are obviously very good at home. How big is it for you guys to find a way to win a big one like that one on the road?
Yeah, it's huge, and we needed it. We needed the confidence boost, and it was awesome to get a game like that under our belt and say, like, we can do this on away games. We have the capability to go and beat teams by 20 on the road. So to show ourselves that we can do it was awesome.
You've played a lot of basketball with Jazz Shelley. What's it like being out there on the court when she is feeling it the way that she was last night or yesterday, and in overtime, the other game, just when she just cannot miss?
It's kind of nice, especially when you're expected to rebound a lot, and I can kind of relax a little bit when I know she's hot. She's hot, so it's definitely really fun to be on a team with her when she's making shots, for sure.
Is there something you can tell, like, okay, she's feeling it right now, or is it just when one goes down, or is there a look in her eye?
Yeah, it's when I know the first couple go down, and I'm like, it's over for the other team.
How important is it for her, especially, you know, you guys are waiting to get Sam healthy, but for her to step into that scoring role and to look for her shot and be more aggressive?
Yeah, I think she's really wanted to do that this year and be more aggressive, especially playing more point guard now that Sam's gone as well. So she's trying to take the role of facilitating and scoring and defending as well as she has been. So she's been doing an awesome job of just trying to balance all three of those keys.
How about the beast on the boards, Allison Widener?
It's incredible. I think after the game, Coach Williams said she had 12 rebounds. 15, and she just looked as shocked as everyone else in the room. She had no idea she had that many.
How big of an emphasis was that for you guys, everybody to crash the boards?
Yeah, with their defense and how aggressive it is, we had opportunities to go at the boards, so that was a key for the game, yeah.
You had hit 2 early threes from the outside. Is that something that you look for if teams are going to back off of you? Because obviously you can hit it from the outside. Is it something that you kind of see and get a feel for, and then, hey, I'm going to take my shot when I get the chance?
Yeah, I'm definitely just trying to spot up when I can and try and read the defense and what they give me. I really want to try and stretch the floor more for Lex, especially. I don't want to be someone that they can help off of, make it hard on Lex, so that's been a key for me.
How about the effort that you guys did on the defensive end, too? I mean, again, it took kind of everybody, and I know Lex had a big assignment, too.
Yeah, like I said, they're a team that plays like a lot of guards, so we went in there just saying we got to scramble, we got to do everything we can, be aggressive on defense, and playing with that mindset. We're really good defensively, so we need to keep that up.
How about, too, just, you guys have gotten down, but just to fight back when you were down 11, how much can you learn from that you can come back from a deficit like that?
So much. Defensively, it starts there, but offensively as well, when we're making shots, everything goes up, and I think we need to keep that confidence in ourselves. But, yeah, it starts on the defensive end for sure.
How much, too, was it kind of you guys are figuring things out? I know there's a lot of returners, but you have some new pieces, and you're without Sam, and you have some different things going on. How much of it, too, was kind of this team figuring some things out here, and you had some tough opponents at that to try to figure things out while you're at it?
Yeah, it's been every team has that at the start of the season. You're trying to figure out each other's role, and I think we're slowly building up, and I think that last game was a perfect example of when we're all at our top, like we're very capable of beating absolutely anyone.
You guys have a few more non-conference matchups, but you've had a tough non-conference schedule this year. How much do you think that's going to prepare you for what you have to do in the Big Ten?
It's really good to have a tough schedule. We've wanted to come out and play hard teams from the get-go to prepare us for Big Ten, because Big Ten isn't easy. Yeah.
What about Wisconsin? What have you guys seen out of them as you start diving into film there?
They're a good team. We need to lock in on defense. They have lots of plays. So if we can lock down and be ready for them defensively, I think we'll be okay.
How do you guys approach, it is kind of weird that you kind of have a couple of conference games and you go out of conference. I mean, how do you guys approach is it just one game at a time?
Yeah, one game at a time. Every game matters, obviously, for us. And just being ready for every day by day process.
How ready are you guys to be back inside PBA? You've been gone a while.
It's been a while, and we're excited to be back for a little while here. We miss it, and we love our fans, so we're very excited.
How much did you guys grow? It seemed like you guys were posting some fun photos. You got to do some fun things, and you were in Puerto Rico. I mean, how much does this team kind of come together, too, while you're on the road?
Yeah, it was a good chance for us while we're traveling to have some team bonding time. We had a lot of fun experiences in Puerto Rico and Washington, and it was really fun to just spend time with the team and hang out, and I think that really helps us on the court.
Had you been to Washington, D.C. before?
I haven't.
What'd you think?
I think it was awesome. Getting to see all the memorial stuff was incredible, and I was telling my parents, like, you guys would love it, so it was fun.
All right, so you just talked about Wisconsin. Big keys. What are the big keys for this team to come out and get a win?
We need to be the aggressor. We need to rebound and play good defense is the keys for us.
And how much do you guys want a big rocking crowd out there? You guys been on the hostile environment for a while. How much do you want that friendly confines of PBA?
I can't wait to be back for them. And we love the energy that they bring, and they always help us get big wins, so we're excited to see them again.
I think we should make a rule, like, we can't go longer than 2 weeks without having an Australian accent on the show.
Isn't that great? Love that.
I could listen to them talk all day.
That's fantastic. Again, Huskers will be in action at PBA tomorrow night with Wisconsin, and then later in the week, Samford here in town for a Saturday. That'll be a doubleheader day at PBA. The men play earlier in the day, the women play at night. So, folks, come on, go to the men's game. Go out and have a nice little dinner somewhere in the Haymarket area and go back and watch the women play.
And again, as we talked about earlier, it's a big recruiting weekend for football.
Yeah.
And they're taking their recruits to the games. And so, yes, go support the basketball teams, but also that's a big selling point when they take those recruits to those games.
Any chance that the folks might get a Matt Rural sighting?
I think so.
Saturday?
I think so.
I think there's a chance.
I think
that happens.
And Coach Hoiberg said last night that Coach Roll reached out to him after the win, too. Cool. So I thought that was awesome. I mean, boy, it's just been impressive. These last 8 days, as we said earlier, it's crazy. It seems a lot longer than that, but he's really done a lot of damage in those 8 days.
Mitch Sherman, who writes for The Athletic, had a great piece about Matt's stealth visit to Lincoln. He came for the Illinois weekend. He said Trev Albert's wife drove to Omaha and picked him up at the Omaha airport. He said he wore a hat and sunglasses a lot of the time he was around. He goes, he couldn't believe somebody did not pick him out and spot him.
That's wild.
They drove around town during the game. They didn't come in the stadium, obviously, but they drove around during the game, got a feel for the town. And
I guess it's the best time to come. They kind of
everybody's here.
Yeah, they kind of talk about when small towns go play on the road or go to the state tournament. Like, that's the best time to rob them. Maybe that's the best time to come.
A horrible thought in people's minds, Jessica Coody. My goodness.
They say that. Like, the best time to rob a small town is when the teams are playing in the playoffs.
Folks, we don't want that to happen to your town. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back to wrap up our hour next.
I grew up in a small town.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Nebraska has taken over leadership from Princeton University in coordinating the U.S. physics community at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. For its role, Nebraska has been awarded over $50 million in National Science Foundation grants. This cutting-edge work at the world's largest particle accelerator helps physicists uncover the origins and makeup of the universe.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hoegemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you on a final few minutes of our hour. Women's basketball show with Amy Williams coming up in hour number 2. We talked about a great weekend for the Huskers. I can't forget wrestling. They had an amazing meet out in Vegas. Third straight Cliff Keen title for Mark Manning's team, and they had 3 individuals win the championships in their weight class. What a weekend. Great for them.
Great weekend for all, if you're a Husker fan. But, yeah, good, too, because, you know, we had talked about how the opening night home duel was
bad. Yeah.
Not ideal, but they have some new guys in some spots in the lineup. And so I think, you know, again, it just takes some time. It doesn't matter the sport. When you are in a new role, you have to kind of get acclimated to it and figure out how to win at this level.
Jessica, there were 33 schools competing in that thing. I mean, it's a huge tournament. Brock Hardy won at 141. Peyton Robb, who's one of your favorites, won at 157. And Mikey Labrioli, who I mentioned in the ticker, was named the NCAA Wrestler of the Week, won at 174. So congratulations to all 3 of those. Hardy is wrestling at that spot that C.J. Redd has held down the last couple of years. I don't know much about Brock.
Yeah,
need to learn on him.
I don't either. I bet Mikey, he's on a mission this year. You know, this is his last year, right?
It is.
Yeah. So, you know, I think he was kind of disappointed with how things ended last year for his season, and so I think he's pretty fired up for this season.
He is up to second ranked in the country in that 174 weight category. So congratulations to Mark Manning. That is a tremendous weekend for them, and they've had a lot of success. As I said, third straight year that they have won that event. And you have to have a lot of depth to win something with that many teams. You got to get, and even some of the wrestlebacks, you got to get points on those. So if you lose, when you come back around on the consolation side, wins there are big for you.
I've always heard that how important those wrestleback points are when you talk about winning a championship, competing for titles. You can't, just because you get beat out and aren't on the path to win a title yourself, an individual title, it's so important to go take care of business in those wrestlebacks. You can rack up a lot of team points there.
All right, Crypto's wanting to know the lineup for the rest of the week. We have a short show tomorrow night, half hour before we hand it off to Kent and Jake. Some of our affiliates will have the women's broadcast with Wisconsin. We'll have full shows, everybody, Thursday and Friday. 2 hours of you and I. How about that?
When's the last time we've had 2 hours?
Back-to-back days. And yes, we will have a pick'em segment this week, but only one game. Army-Navy, Matt Coady. Who we got? Former Navy man right there himself, Matt Coady. So we'll be picking that on Friday show and reviewing our championship picks from last week.
Hey, if anybody picks Navy for that, they better have that same amount of enthusiasm when they pick it.
Right? Exactly. Oh, that'll be fun. We'll look forward to that. Jeremiah Searles, we'll have an appearance of him later on in the week. Well, we'll have fun things for you lined up in the next couple of days as well. But tomorrow night, just a really short show before we get you off to Husker basketball for that. Well, thanks to Andrew Dowdy for steering. Andrew's name has not yet appeared in the transfer portal. I don't know whether every morning I wake up and I check it as Andrew's name. It's not there yet. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he's not weighing his options, but we got him for now. He's got, what, 45 days? Isn't that what
45 days he can put that name. Put that name into the portal. That was good. By the way, yeah, you did come up with that. That's great. 45 days starting
January
yesterday.
18th.
So a long time for these young guys to put their name in the portal to move out. So there's a lot of movement still ahead. Matt Coady, Amy Williams, coming up next hour. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402 413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
I'm the warmest too. I'm so glad we called SOS before the coldest got here.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is the coldest Crawford. If your house is the coldest, call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Don't be like me in the winter. Take it from the coldest.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate. This is the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show with head coach Amy Williams. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Look at Moriarty fighting for it, getting it out to Hink, left wing three. You betcha! Callan Hink with a triple. Trinity Brady for three, and it hits back rim. Markowski, the rebound. One dribble, flips it up, and it counts. And a foul. She would not be denied. Last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Alexis Markowski. 4 seconds to go. In the corner, deep right side. Maddie Kroll in the corner for three. You betcha! Maddie Kroll with a punctuation mark in the first half. Wayne comes off the curl, delivers to Trinity Brady, works into the lane, spins, flips it up, and scores. Trinity Brady. Kendall Moriarty now sets it up. Ani Stewart's going to take a 23-footer. You betcha! I told you that would change, Jeff.
I don't know why I mentioned it.
I told you that would change. Maddie Kroll with 4, 3 underneath. Ani Stewart somehow throws it in after got knocked away from her. Back to Kendall, deep three in front of her. Betcha! Triple for Kendall Moriarty.
Here is your host, Matt Coatney, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Among the luckiest people in the world, you're looking at one, because I got to describe one of the top 2 upsets, I think, in the history of Nebraska women's basketball on Sunday, when Nebraska women's basketball knocked off number 20 Maryland in College Park. Amy Williams is here on the Nebraska women's basketball radio show. We'll take your calls for the full hour at 402-413-2400. On a very personal note, it was one of my top broadcast moments. I didn't see it coming. Okay, I think the Huskers are going to win every game. But, you know, I'm a realist. When you're 0-15 as a program against the school, Amy Williams, you know, you kind of have some expectations. If Nebraska was going to win the game, if you would have asked me before I got on the bus, I would have said possession game, final shot. Not blowout win. Congratulations. I have spent the last 2 days just talking to people, where they were listening to the game, where they were watching the game. I've got to think you've had much more than I have, but something very similar. How have the last couple of days been for you since that big win at Maryland?
Yeah, that was a fun game to really celebrate. Just it's been fun to watch our team really kind of learn from some of the tough losses that we've gone through early this season, and to really lean into each other and come together and do something special like that was really pretty special. And I think probably one of the funnest things since that game was over is just a lot of the alum that I've kind of heard from and got texts from, and people that maybe were pretty close but never able to get over the hump with a win over Maryland, and just, you know, the excitement that came from not just the current players on our roster, but a lot of people that have poured into trying to build this program to get to that level.
402-413-2400, 402-413-2400 if you'd like to call or text, visit with Amy Williams. I had the same thing. As soon as I got on the bus after the game, Danielle Page texted me, one of the great centers that this program's ever had, now an assistant coach at Toledo. And, you know, that was her final game in college, was an NCAA tournament loss in the second round to a Maryland team that had won the national championship 2 years earlier. There have been some great players in this program who never got it done against Maryland. And I make no apologies. I got very emotional on that post-game show because, you know, we didn't talk about it before the game. You know, it's not something you really dwell on, but when you realize just how many players have tried to get that done, and you mentioned on the post-game show, Sam Hybe and Jazz Shelley had mentioned that on the post-game show. Those players were really, you know, wanting to win the game, not just for themselves, not just for the program, but for Sam. That's got to make you feel really good.
Yeah, it does. It makes me feel amazing. I just think this is a really special group that is pretty tight with each other, and to watch them just kind of spend a lot of time together on the road with these past couple of road trips, but lots of time being able to really kind of lean into each other and lean on each other, and to watch that just pay off, and it was pretty special for me.
Huskers defeated the Maryland Terrapins 90-67 on Sunday, 20th ranked Maryland. And I just got to tell you, when Maryland had just went to Notre Dame, ranked 7th, and beat the Fighting Irish, who were really good, and after Nebraska had come off a significant loss at number 9 Virginia Tech, what happened? I mean, you look at this. This is why games aren't played on paper, are they? You're like, well, Nebraska loses big at number 9, Maryland wins at number 7, Maryland's at home, and you get a 23-point win. What happened between Thursday in Blacksburg and Sunday afternoon in College Park?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've had some really tough losses, and obviously Virginia Tech, taught us a lot about the things that we need to get better at and get tougher with throughout the course of a ball game. And I think our kids really kind of took the mindset of, thank you, Virginia Tech. Thank you for, teaching us here early in the non-conference exactly what we need to know so that we can move towards our goal of wanting to compete for a Big Ten championship. And so for us, we had to learn those lessons, and sure, we'd love to have learned them without, some tough road losses against ranked opponents. But the reason that we've challenged ourselves with the non-conference schedule that we have is so that we just feel like that's going to help us raise and elevate our play to the level we need it to be at.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. And our Woodhouse hotline is 402-413-2400. And we'll go with our first phone caller down to Beatrice, to Brad, who is on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline. Brad, good evening. You're on with Coach Amy Williams.
Good evening, Coach and Matt. One of the terms that we've never really used, especially with playing teams like Maryland, is intimidation. And I really feel like when I watched that game, and I had to wait till Monday to actually watch it, but your team was intimidating to Maryland. If you saw some of the looks that Diamond Miller had when some of the plays happened in front of her, it's like, wow, what is this team, or who is this team? And that is a change, Coach, in what I've seen over the last few years. So I think that intimidation factor, I'd like a little comment on that. And then the other thing is your shooting's turned around. So, we can talk defense all we want, and the women are great on defense, but if those threes don't pop, we don't win. So it was good inside, it was good outside. Second chance points were awesome. I mean, you didn't beat Maryland just by points. You beat them in every category of the game. And that is something to do with Coach Freed's coach team. I've never seen it against Maryland, really, with anybody except when they might have played somebody like a Purdue when Purdue was in their heyday. Very proud of you. We haven't forgotten about the women's team. Papa Brad and Evelyn are really looking forward to coming and seeing you tomorrow and on Saturday. And we just love you guys. And I really feel bad that the guys won against Creighton, which was, another great game. But it took away a little bit from your victory. So I want you to just understand, we've been listening. We've been waiting for you to come home. And we're looking forward to the rest of the conference schedule, because what I see is something very special. So go Big Red, and I'll be waiting for your comment.
Well, thank you, Brad. First of all, thank you so much for just your support of our program, and thank you for staying locked in and watching the replay on Monday. You and I were probably watching it again, both at the same time. I've watched the replay of the game multiple times, and it's pretty fun every time I find something else that becomes one of my favorite plays. So I appreciate that. I think that, one thing for sure is you're not going to do anything special like knocking off a program that you have never before if you are intimidated. And I thought our kids just really wanted to compete and played unintimidated. And, it was the first time that I think we've out-rebounded Maryland since I've been at Nebraska, so it's really no coincidence that the one time we finally out-rebounded them that we were able to get over the hump and get a win. I know you made a comment, Brad, about just our shooting, and without question, when the ball goes in the basket, I mean, we pride ourselves on not being a team that has to make shots in order for everything else to click. We want to hang our hat on defense and rebounding, and because there are going to be some days where you're not shooting it particularly well. But I think the focus has shifted for us to our pace of play, how aggressive-minded we're being. I think starts with Jazz Shelley, and when she's really playing with great pace and kind of hunting her shot and being aggressive-minded, she creates so much offense, not just for herself, but for the rest of our team. And that's why we're starting to see, I think, better shots and more shots, kind of actually go in the basket. And so it was fun to see that in that game. It was almost like there late in the first half, Jazz made up her mind that we are not going to lose this. She hit those 2 big threes to cut it from 11 back to 5 before the break, and that was really important.
Brad, we appreciate the phone call, and thank you. I know Brad's been a fan for a long time. He was on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline, 402-413-2400. Art in Los Angeles is texted on our Woodhouse hotline, said that win against Maryland was just a taste of what's coming. Huskers will be in the Final Four, #guaranteed. Go Big Red. It's a decent question, though. So you knock off Maryland. They're a top 20 team. The program has never beaten them. But that doesn't look as good if it doesn't start something a little bit more consistently. If you trip up against Wisconsin, what does that do? So the one thing I always say about a loss during the season is there's always another game. Well, it's kind of the reverse. If you get a huge win, there's always another game right around the corner. How hard is it for you to maybe keep this in a little bit of perspective with your team right now with the game coming up tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed the win, and no doubt about it, but it's immediately shifted to kind of refocus. And, every game presents new challenges and new ups and downs. And so being able to stay focused and locked in and tough, no matter what circumstances are presented our way, that's going to be really important throughout the season, but here in the next week too.
402-413-2400 is the number if you'd like to talk to Amy Williams. And our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres. Solutions for every field. One of the things that Brad brought up was shooting has turned around. I talked to Jazz Shelley a little bit about this on the postgame show. I said, just quite frankly, early in the season, the threes just weren't falling for you. What has changed? And she had kind of talked about, just some of the repetition and where she's getting her shots and that type of thing. There was a play in that Maryland game where Allison Widener found Jazz Shelley on a pass I've never seen Allison Widener throw before. Was right in front of your bench. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but she drew about 3 players to her, and then with a left-handed dagger threw it across the top of the key, and Jazz was standing there all alone. Some of that, obviously, if you're standing all alone, it's easier to shoot a 3, but what has been some of the improvements specifically in Jazz Shelley's shooting? Because 32 against Mississippi State, 2 games later, 29 against 20th-ranked Maryland. What has changed here?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is she's just been way more aggressive-minded. I think she hasn't turned down open shots. She's been kind of hunting her shots. She's been off the dribble. I know we're talking about her three-point shooting, but off the dribble, being able to aggressively attack the rim and you know, got an and one or two, hit some floaters in the paint, you know, just aggressive, and that collapses defense. That makes people not be able to just kind of run you off the line and respect you off the dribble. And that, I think, has freed her up a little bit for better shots from the perimeter.
We head back to the phones, 402-413-2400 on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. We're going to go to Portland, Oregon, and talk to Bruce. Bruce, good evening. You're on with Amy Williams.
Hey, I just wanted to say, Coach, that I'm really proud of the Huskers program, women in basketball. I watch all that I can, even though me being from Oregon. But my family is actually from Omaha, and my dad was born and raised in Lincoln. So I just want to say what a great job of coaching that you have done. And I just hope that you guys continue to just keep playing hard. And just, you know, Nebraska is going to be my life until I pass away. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Bruce, so much. I know Nebraska, it will be my life, too, until I pass away. So, I mean, it's just, it gets in your blood in a real hurry, that Husker Nation and just Go Big Red. And so I appreciate so much the support, Bruce. And one of the best compliments I can hear anybody ever say is that they see how hard our team is playing, and so that's something that we want to maintain as a staple within our culture and keep playing hard.
Bruce, we appreciate the phone call. You know, I want to take exception, probably is a little bit of a too harsh of a term, but our first, I think Brad was saying tonight, he wanted to make sure your win didn't get overshadowed by the men. And you know what I have heard from multiple people this week, when they saw the tweets that players on your team had when the men defeated Creighton, and I told them that, you know, we had to do a fuel stop halfway back, and everybody ran inside and ran and found a TV, or they were on their phone. I've had more people allude to they like that. They like that the players across sports, volleyball coming to basketball players supporting the volleyball team, men's basketball and women's basketball, winning on the same day, and everybody thinks it's great. From my standpoint, yeah, the men did something really great on the same day. I do not look at it. I don't know how you look at it, but I've had more people talk to me about, thank you for everybody supporting each other. The fans seem to like that.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? The rising tide raises all ships. You know, we want to see everybody be successful. I've been so fortunate at Nebraska to have some outstanding head coaches that have really poured into me. Rhonda Revelle, Coach Cook, John Walker, and Fred Hoiberg right down the hall, you know, and one of the first texts that I had was from Fred, and you know, so excited to be able to watch him and his program have that win. To me, when I hear people saying, the best thing is that when people say collectively in Husker basketball, both men's and women's, that may have been one of the biggest days in Husker basketball history between men and women's basketball, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of that, and so excited for Coach Hoiberg and his program for their big win as well.
Buckle up and put the phone down. That's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I'm Matt Coatney. That's Amy Williams. 402-413-2400. We'll have more with the coach when the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show returns in just a few moments.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
It's the Ford Shine Bright sales event, and Ford is helping you be a light for others this holiday season. Right now, get special offers on select Ford trucks and SUVs. Come in and choose a vehicle in stock, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer today and find the Ford vehicle that helps you shine bright all season long. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
It's harvest special time, and you can save $3 per foot or $3,900 per quarter-mile system now on a T&L pivot system. Pivots worked long hours this season battling dry weather to save top-dollar corn and soybean crops. But did your pivots work like no other? If not, it's time to invest in a reliable, safe, low-maintenance T&L irrigation system. Hydrostatic drives move these durable workhorses continuously across fields. So get an irrigation system that works as hard as you do. Contact T&L Irrigation, your local T&L dealer, or visit us online at TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation Systems like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every single day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed the globe. When you grow non-GMO white corn or non-GMO yellow corn, you can earn up to $250 more per acre. Do the math. Growing CVA value-added grains pays huge dividends. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how you can get up to a $5,000 signing bonus with a value-added grain contract at CVAcoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Puts up another three. This one's on the way. Got it! Got it! Got it! Breidenbach for the big three.
Tomorrow, women's basketball takes the airways as they face Wisconsin. 6:45 pregame with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greach, followed by an abbreviated Sports Nightly. Husker Hoops play Indiana with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on the men's side with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Welcome back. This is Sports Nightly, and Hour 2 is the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Hour with Coach Amy Williams, and we're so happy to be a Husker fan right now after the win over number 20 Maryland. We'll take your calls at 402-413-2400 and your text at 402-413-2400. Tomorrow night, the Huskers have their home Big Ten opener against Wisconsin at 7 p.m., and then Samford here at Pinnacle Bank Arena is part of two games, the men in the middle of the day, and then at 6 p.m. Samford. So it's starting a 5-game homestand. You've been road warriors. You've been in 2 different time zones that weren't the Central Time Zone, and now you're back for 5 games. You happy to be home for 5?
I'm very happy. I can't even say, I think our whole team just excited to be sleeping in our own beds and back home and getting ready to play in front of Husker Nation at Pinnacle Bank Arena. There's just nothing like it. So we're happy for a little home stretch here.
You've been quoted as talking about one of the differences in getting blown out at Virginia Tech and then just 3 days later, the huge win over Maryland is some of the time the team spent together. And I know the team got to take a tour of the Washington, D.C. area because you stayed in the Eastern time zone after you're playing Virginia Tech on Thursday night in a game that was scheduled, and then the Big Ten schedules you for your opener on the road. So it kind of worked out. But what kinds of things can you do team building wise or being together that can be so advantageous if you're on the road as much as you guys have been?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the shared experiences, and I was at our hotel doing some prep for practice with Maryland, and so I didn't get to participate but I saw all the videos from their tour. They got a really incredible bus tour of DC area, and there were a lot of TikToks, there were a lot of dances and songs, and I think that those shared experiences, but just time together to really kind of hash through some of the things that we felt like were unacceptable in the reasons why we were not successful in the Virginia Tech game, but things that we want to be known for, things that we want our program to stand for, things that we want to be staples and the standard of excellence in our program, and to know what stuff is missing there and to have that highlighted to you early in the season so you can work to correct it. And I think it's just collectively that group leaned into each other and agreed that this is the stuff we've got to really commit to moving forward.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. And on our Woodhouse Auto Family text line at 402-413-2400, Don in Scottsdale asks, given your previous success, are you keeping tabs on any prospects down under? So Izzy Bourne and Jazz Shelley have been huge for you lately, especially. So is there an Australian pipeline that's going to continue here? What's your recruiting efforts in Australia looking like?
Yeah, I mean, we will most definitely be anchored there. We've had some great players just over the years, not just here at Nebraska, but even before that. But obviously, when you have players as special as Izzy and Jazz, and they're flourishing in our system and program and really thriving and contributing to a program at a high level, then obviously that does open some doors with other players. And so most definitely, Coach Gailey has been our most recent flyer over to Australia and made a trip there this fall earlier. And we will continue to tap into those pipelines and channels over in Australia, no doubt.
Yeah, Shelley and Izzy Bourne combined for 47 points, 9 assists, 10 of 15 from downtown in the win against number 20 Maryland. It was not lost on me that your starting lineup with Trinity Brady out and unable to start were 2 Australians and 3 people from Nebraska, with Allison Widener from Humphrey, Alexis Markowski from here in Lincoln, and Maddie Kroll from Omaha. That, I think, is a really good indication of kind of your recruiting approach. You've done a great job in Australia, but you've also done a great job finding extremely good local talent here. I mean, that's a lineup I think Husker fans can obviously like, right?
Yeah, right. Sure. I think so. I think we've just got a really special group that, we've got kids from overseas. We've got in-state kids that have just, that have been around the Huskers their whole life, and some that are just figuring out how special it is to be a part of Nebraska and to be a Husker. But the way they have all connected with each other, and you have people from all over, but the way they've really come together and just bleed Husker red for this program is really unique and really special.
Let's head back to the Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline at 402-413-2400 out in Hall County. We go to Debbie in Grand Island. Debbie, you're on with Coach Williams.
Well, thank you very much again for having me. I just want to congratulate Amy. I'm not sure she remembers my coach in my family, but Barry Schultz was the coach out here in Grand Island a number of years ago. They won the 1982 state championship just when there were only 4 teams that could win that year. And I know he's remembered playing with you or coaching you or being on different University of Nebraska teams that you were there and helped different clinics there in Lincoln. And I'm just so excited for you, Amy, and he would be very excited for how well you've done. And thank you so much for keeping Nebraska red.
Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for that phone call, and I think we're I've been very blessed to be around some outstanding coaches while I was a player here at Nebraska, and then into my coaching career, and just can very vividly remember when I was a GA at Kearney, spending just a lot of time when I worked on Amy Stevens' staff, working camps and clinics all over the state of Nebraska and for the YMCA here in Lincoln, and just being able to learn and pull from some really special longtime coaches within this state. And so I feel incredibly thankful and grateful to everybody that's poured into me, and now even more grateful to have a team full of kids that are just, buying into being competitive and making our state proud.
Debbie,
Thank you.
We appreciate the phone call. Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. It's a pretty tight-knit community coaching, I think. You and I were talking during the break, something that was not lost upon me after Nebraska beat Maryland, and you're all celebrating Maryland coach Brenda Fries, and she didn't have to do this, but there's no handshake line because your team's celebrating at that point. She walked down the scores table and went to our radio position and told myself and Jeff Grease separately, congratulations to your team. You guys deserved it. And I looked at that, and sometimes I think fans are like, oh, I hate this coach or this team, or I hate this university or whatever. And I try to tell them, that they're really good. There's no one in the Big Ten Conference or any of the major conferences who got to be a head coach there because they're lousy or they didn't do the right things. You've kind of got to have some respect for each other. I thought that was I thought that showed a lot of class from Brenda Fries. But when you hear a caller talking about, I remember when you helped with a clinic or something like that, it's a pretty tight-knit community of coaches, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And the only thing I ever have learned from early on in my coaching career is that almost every single thing that a coach does was either stolen from another coach or borrowed from this coach or a drill that they took from this. And I think, the best coaches are always continuing to try to grow and stretch themselves and learn. And I've been really good about trying to steal things from the best coaches that I've been able to be blessed to be around.
Well, you've done a great job with it, no question about it. One thing I want to tell you about is it's going to be the Toys for Tots collection tomorrow night at Pinnacle Bank Arena, the annual U.S. Marines Toys for Tots Drive. 7 p.m., Husker fans encouraged to bring new unwrapped toys to the game. Cash donations for the cause are also encouraged and accepted. The Marines will be stationed near entrances throughout Pinnacle Bank Arena. They'll accept donations that will brighten the holiday season. And this is the 75th anniversary of the Marine Corps Toys for Tots program. So bring a contribution tomorrow night when you come to PBA, 7 o'clock, the Huskers and Wisconsin. 402-413-2400. We'll have more of your calls and your texts with Amy Williams when the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show returns in a few moments.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. Nebraska has the most technically advanced buildings in the Big Ten, according to an annual review of universities across the country. Nebraska has also saved over $85 million over the past 17 years by making long-term investments in clean, reliable energy sources, cutting-edge automation, and collaborations across campus.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
I'm the warmest too. I'm so glad we called SOS before the coldest got here.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford. If your house is the coldest, call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition guaranteed. Don't be like me in the winter. Take it from Dakota.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
A reminder to buckle up and put the phone down, and that reminder is from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. This is the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show. I'm Matt Coatney. That's Amy Williams. We're taking your calls and your text at 402-413-2400. There is a game tomorrow night, and I want to make sure that fans understand you need to be out at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 7 o'clock. Central Wisconsin is in. It's the home Big Ten opener. I saw Wisconsin tape. When did I watch that? Last night against Iowa. What are your impressions of Wisconsin?
Yeah, they are tough, and they've lost a couple of really close games to really good teams. Their schedule has been pretty tough here early, and they've had similar situation to us, and in the sense that they lost their starting point guard to injury, to a ankle sprain, and she missed a few games, and they were without Sid Hilliard, an all-conference player, for the first 8 games of the season, and now she's worked back into their lineup the last couple of ball games, and their team is completely different when she's on the floor, and they've got some great freshmen with Maddie Wilkie, who's a red-shirted freshman that was leading them in scoring for a big chunk of the season until Julia Poshpisilova had kind of overtaken her in that.
Well done pronouncing that.
Okay, did I get that right? JP is what she's affectionately known as.
Julie P is what a lot of people call her. Right?
Yeah. You hear the Big Ten announcers. She's been such a staple in that program for so long that everybody seems to just refer to her as JP, and she's had some really big games, hit 8 threes in one of their games here recently, and so when you add the experience of players like JP and Sid Hilliard, and then you bring in some really special freshmen with Sarah Williams and Maddie Wilkie and grad transfer who was the Patriot League Player of the Year in their point guard. They've just really pieced together a nice roster that has been competitive with every game they've been in, and they've kind of fall short in a couple and got over the hump on a couple. And I think, but they're really starting to piece it together and start playing really good basketball. They run a lot of really good offensive things. They have a lot of weapons from behind the arc, and so it's going to be a dangerous game.
Did you guys have to bring in more paper for your scouting report? Because I think they've set an NCAA record with number of players who have played in a game this year. I just kept looking and going, okay, yeah, there's another one, there's another one. I mean, how long is that scouting report?
Yeah, I know. They're really deep and they're very capable, and they've had to lean in. And, you know, one game I'm scouting, and they're starting a freshman walk-on point guard because their point guard was out with ankle injury, and and she came in and played great, and this really elevated to the level, and they just they've had a lot of people that have been able to come in and contribute and step up for their team. So a deep team, a dangerous team, a team that can really hurt you from inside and hurt you from behind the arc, and so it's going to take a great team effort.
Well, it will be Nebraska and Wisconsin tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central. We'd love to see you out there. It's Toys for Tots collection day at PBA, so bring a new and unwrapped toy or a cash donation when you come out there. And if you can't make it out there, Jeff Greash and I have it at 6:45 Central for you tomorrow night right here on the Huskers Radio Network. We'll have more of your calls and your text at 402-413-2400 when we return in a few moments.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Puts up another three. This one's on the way. Got it! Got it! Got it! Breisenbach with a big three.
Tomorrow, women's basketball takes the airways as they face Wisconsin. 6:45 pregame with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greash, followed by an abbreviated Sports Nightly. Husker Hoops play Indiana with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on the men's side with Kent Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show. I'm Matt Coatney, and our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Huskers are returning home. They've got 5 games straight. Is it strange having 2 conference games and then going back to non-conference? You have Samford on Saturday, to have a couple of conference games and going back to the non-conference, or does it not make any difference? It's just another game.
Yeah, it is kind of strange. I'm not going to lie. It is strange. There's a really strong reason for it, because then it does allow and kind of opens up some windows after Christmas to be able to sneak a bye in there, which is much needed when you're in the grind of the Big Ten Conference. And so, there are some really good things that we benefit from having these couple of early conference games before Christmas break, but it is very unique because there's just kind of a different level of intensity and focus when it comes to Big Ten games, and to go to that and then kind of step back away from conference games for a little bit is unique, but it's well timed with our final schedule, and knowing that we're going to have a little break in games, a little chance to kind of evaluate what we feel like has been going well and what we really need to key in on to clean up during that break during finals week.
One of the things that's going really well is you put Maddie Kroll in the starting lineup against Maryland after the injury to Trinity Brady against Virginia Tech. And, she played a lot of minutes, and the offense seemed to work really well. How did you feel about her performance, and especially what do you expect out of her moving forward now?
Yeah, I think Maddie did an outstanding job of rising to the level. I think everybody on our team wanted to try to raise their level of play because for Trinity, for Sam, for those kids that are not in the lineup, not able to play, and just to not let them down kind of in their absence. And I thought Maddie did a fantastic job of stepping in and doing a lot of hustle things and stuff that maybe doesn't always show up in the stats, and but every time I've watched the game back, I've found one other play where she just she guarded two people in transition defense by just really hustling back and forth, or she takes those charges and just really, I thought, did an outstanding job of making a difference for our team without having to produce a whole bunch of points.
Well, somebody who did a lot and produced a lot of points, but produced else was Allison Widener, who career-high 15 rebounds, 8 of which were in the second half when the Huskers really extended the lead. Where did all those rebounds come from Allison Widener? What happened there? Yeah, I thought she did a great job of pursuing rebounds, and we've been kind of talking to Allison about, sometimes she has such a nose for the ball that sometimes she'll just kind of knife in and dive in and try to track the ball and misses out on, a box out for her player, but I think she's done a good job of really keeping her pursuit of the ball. We don't want to take that away from her, but also knowing and understanding that I need to first, kind of make contact with my player, and I think she's just been making a huge focus of finding ways to impact the game, and rebounding is one way she can do that. She crashes hard on the offensive side. She's very aggressive when she gets the ball on defensive rebounds, about being able to push tempo. So it's just the best of both worlds for us when she is rebounding it well. I thought she just really gutted it out in Puerto Rico after suffering the eye injury against Tarleton right hours before you all got on the plane to go to San Juan. How tough was it for her playing through that with goggles on? I started calling her Rambus, and she didn't know who I was talking about. I was like, I'm dating myself here with her Rambus reference here. But how tough was it for her gutting it out in Puerto Rico? She doesn't know who Kurt Rambus is, but you and I both do. But I thought she was quite fashionable with her goggles, and we were kind of fortunate to be able to find those goggles on Black Friday, and because we had to leave, like you mentioned, just hours after she suffered that injury. But it's one of the more painful things that can happen is that eye injury that she had, and that scratch cornea, and but she sucked it up, and it's so funny. Her parents are like, you better suck it up, Buttercup, because you got a game in a couple hours here, and there's no question where Allison gets her toughness. Amy, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow night, Huskers in Wisconsin at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 7 p.m. Good night, Nebraska.
hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hoegemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
It's the Ford Shine Bright sales event, and Ford is helping you be a light for others this holiday season. Right now, get special offers on select Ford trucks and SUVs. Come in and choose a vehicle in stock, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer today and find the Ford vehicle that helps you shine bright all season long.